If I take the healing, as I said, the healing, these three tools do, you use different method. In one case you paint, for this one, in this case you select an area, but they do the same thing. Allow you to go in, select, in the case of the patch tool, the area that you want to remove, right here. And notice that says is the source. So when you go here, you take it to the destination and let go. Notice when you let go, it blends the two areas. So it makes a blend between the pixel of the two areas, making it virtually impossible to see that you did it. So I feel like the patch tool is definitely really superior. Now for this type of work here, which is tiny, and you kind of have like a bunch of lines in between, I feel like maybe a clone tool works really well. Now another place where the clone tool works really well is if you go back into color correction, there is something called Camille and Dad. And if you go in Camille and Dad, you'll see there's a very old image. And if you needed to restore that image and you zoomed in, you'll see that there's a lot of noise, a lot of like this blue pixel does not belong there. In that case, definitely you want to use this clone stamp tool, go right next to that pixel, hold Option, click, and then go in and fix it. You do the same thing with the little girl, overall, as well as obviously go in the hue and saturation and remove some of those warm tones. So this is kind of so far. I'll cover more next class and give you a lot of hands-on on all these. But I wanted to just cover the brightness and contrast, levels, exposure, hue and saturation the most. And then let you know that there are tools like the clone stamp tool and the healing brush and patch tool that allow you to change entire, in quote, areas. In the case of the clone stamp tool, a small area. In the case of the healing brush and the patch tool, a lot more. I will demo next class these one and a lot more. Just every class I'll give you probably 5 to 10 different color correcting tools. Any questions so far? So be aware that every time you bring in a sketch in Photoshop, you do definitely need to do the levels as well as the oftentimes hue and saturation and exposure. Yes? Do it again? Absolutely, I'll be happy to do it again. So if I go and revert to this image, so we go back to the beginning, what I do is I go in the patch tool. What is key in the patch tool, guys, is to keep one eye on these two. What you're telling right now is what you're doing, because I have source highlighted here, what it means is I'm going to actually go and select the source of my removal, what I want to remove. So I'm going to go in here and I kind of say, okay, I need to also grab some of this line that is the shadow of the cyclist, not just the cyclist. So I go all around. And then in the minute which I click and drag, it takes me to the destination. It means I need to go to an area that is the destination area, in the sense that it's the area that I want to copy, right? And in the minute in which I let go, it does a blend between those two areas. And as I said, I will go more in depth next class. This class, between having covered so much of vector, I feel like it's kind of nice to just give you a few easy tools that those are the tools you will always use anyway, are really, really the most common one. And then next class, I'll teach you curves that are incredibly powerful and go into a few more tools from the tool palette. All right, guys, let's stop right here.